I don't know what's wrong with these kids today. Kids who can understand anything they say.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Boomer Broads. We've had a fantastic vacation, or I have.
Some of us have.
I'm feeling bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
I need a vacation.
You're
so badly.
not bushy-tailed.
I know.
You're so sort of
But
sallow-eyed.
somewhat bright-eyed.
Oh yeah, okay, you're bright-eyed. But anyway, today's show is really inspired by the behavior of a couple of 20-somethings by the name of Lindsay Lohan and Lebron James. Honestly, people, what is the matter with kids today? And I know that makes us sound old, but we are. And
we're not old.
Well, we are old in years.
And some of it we've created ourselves. So some of the monsters.
Fish drops at the head, as they say. But
Right.
I know this is really becoming, it's getting my goat, is what it is, this behavior.
What does that mean when somebody gets your goat? Just out of curiosity, it just sounded odd.
I don't know.
Is there really a goat around?
A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush.
Oh, by the way, before I forget, it's been a long time since we mentioned them, and our staff and producers
go to
have been asking.
theboomerbroads.com, go to the store,
T-shirts, we
and
have
show
T-shirts.
the people what you are. You're a Boomer Broad, or at least a Boomer Broad
Wear it
fan.
proudly.
All right, so anyway, back to Lindsay and LeBron. Who's at fault here, Anne-Marie?
We are. The boomers, I think the boomers are. And frankly, for the most part, I think the boomer broads are. I really do. I think what happened is so much has changed. So much changed in our lives. Starting in the 50s, the 60s. I mean, the pill, the Cultural Revolution, the sexual revolution, the protests against the war. I mean, we've only been voting for 100 years, less than 100 years. So when you start to think about all the changes, we went back to work. And I think once we went back to work, we were so guilt-ridden, or we wanted to make such a departure from our past, that we overcompensated. And it's not even so much that we were over-coddling our kids, it's that we wanted to, and I think it was a mistake, I mean with hindsight, it's a mistake, it was a mistake. We wanted them to be their best, and so we kept saying, you're the best.
Fabulous.
You're the best, even when they weren't.
You popped one of your pimples. You're amazing.
Yeah,
I know.
I wasn't going to go there. You got to see. Oh, bravo for the effort. Bravo, that's wonderful. My mother was like, where's the A? What happened?
You got a 98? Why a 98?
Yeah.
Why not a 99?
And you didn't study it.
Yes.
I'm not saying that was a better approach.
No.
But I think to some extent we created our own monsters with,
and that's
not
just,
to say that my children are monsters.
No, but
they actually have really risen.
But there was an
that.
era when in the Lindsay Lohan age group, which I think is the lower to mid-20s, where there is that strong sense of entitlement. I'm entitled to everything because I've always been given everything.
Yeah.
And I also think, and this is something that we haven't talked about as much, this also was the generation of the shrink. When you're going to a psychiatrist at a very young age and you're spending days and weeks...
Tell me what's wrong with you.
Talk to me about you.
Or your mother.
So it's all about you and why is your mother so... Well, it's not about me. My mother has screwed me up. But these kids spent hours a week in a shrink's office talking about themselves and blaming their mothers. And we did not do that. Our parents wouldn't have even considered it, didn't even know it could happen.
We didn't know anything about it.
Now I'm overcompensating for that, spending as much time as possible in a psychiatrist's
You know what's
office
also
as
interesting is our producers, Maggie and Beth, wrote some guidance for us on this show, which I think is they're both of that generation.
Mm-hmm.
They're both in their early 20s. And they wrote, which I think is really an interesting observation, the effects that we had on a younger generation of girls having sex earlier and earlier, that they're lazier. This generation is lazier. They have a huge sense of entitlement. Party girls, not wanting to work, yet really wanting all the same. So we have a lot of, for example, people who come and apply for jobs and are shocked when they're not hired. Or shocked when they're not able to...
Well, and because I do a lot of the hiring in this organization, what I'm always shocked by is when they sit down in that chair and they say, so what will the business be giving me? What do I get? I'm like, what do you get? What do I get? Excuse me, I'm paying you. But there is, talk about entitlement, there's the sense of, could you please tell me before I tell you anything about myself what the benefits are here? And that, I think, is very generational and very interesting and very aggravating. I'm going to tell you right now, I get aggravated with it all. And the Lindsay Lohans of the world, I look at her, I pity her.
Poor thing.
I think she
With
is
the fingernail, are you going to share your fingernail?
This is for
with us?
our fans, and I hate to do this because it's not like
Well,
me,
it's
but
not
this is
meant.
You understand this is a heart you, babies. It's a heart you. That's what the broads would do. But can you imagine having the cojones to walk in with that fingernail into a... Excuse me, I'm having a hot flash. So sorry. Just the arrogance.
I'm sure some of our audience
Oh yeah,
are too, by the way.
I'm heating everybody up. Talk about the arrogance of LeBron James. And again, I think to address what you were just talking about with kids, is who is to blame on LeBron James? It's all the king's men.
What's interesting,
the people who surround him.
While
he
I
didn't
did-
even have a father.
While
actually,
I did,
so you
I
can't
know.
blame his
While I
parents.
did not, I really did not like the way he handled it. The whole thing, I really didn't like it at all. He is very close to his mother,
Yes.
but that might be
I
another
feel
case
like
of
that
his
kid
mother
needed a
saying.
dad.
Yeah, well, no, I was going to say, I think it was a matter of his mother saying, "You're the best, you're the best," or the coaches, and I think there was a larger
Everybody has
village.
said he was. Yes.
that
Talk
said you
about
were
a
the
village
best,
that. And
that
again,
created the monster.
You can't. The only thing about that whole thing that absolutely shocked me was his purchasing an hour of time to embarrass an entire city
I know.
and hurt the feelings of the city of Cleveland beyond belief. Is he so clueless? Is he so out of touch? That's really what it is.
And she's
Both
sitting in the
Lindsay
courtroom
and
with a-
LeBron are out
Anyway,
of
there are
touch
many.
with reality.
There are many of them, and many do rise above it. I mean, I think we have a great staff of
Oh,
hardworking
fantastic.
people.
Your
in
kids
that.
are great. I look at a Chelsea Clinton or even the Bush girls. They're fantastic. I look at Maggie and Beth. They're fantastic young people out there. But the ones that have risen to celebrity status are...
You got to look at the parents.
Are
You've got to look at the
Dina
parents.
Lohan.
By the way, just very quickly, because Beth found it again, and I think it's just brilliant, is the Gail Collins posted a letter to young American women, which was absolutely brilliant, and if anybody can go online and find it, it was fabulous. Dear young American woman, it's possible that you've been told a time or 10 that you don't appreciate how tough your elders have it, and it goes on through the whole thing. It's very funny. And then DivineCaroline.com, a blogger, gave 10 tips from pieces of advice for young women from people our age. You're at least, and I think this is brilliant, you're at least 10 times prettier than you think you are, although I would amend that. You're at least 10 times thinner than you think you are.
Yeah, touche.
Right. Especially for the girls. The only thing you should be faking is confidence, and she keeps going back to this, which I think is brilliant. Fake it! You don't trust yourself, you don't like it, fake it. That's what we've been doing, right? You know,
Well,
it got us
that's what
here.
that's what you've
All
been
right,
doing.
anyway. Want to try
I'm real
something
baking.
new? Try it. Just do it, and then fake it. Go back to number 2, she says. A lot of powdered flowers, flowers. My passion.
I know.
Because it puts a smile on your face and warms your heart.
I don't think we have time,
we
honestly,
don't?
to read all 10 because we're wrapping up.
All right. I
But
just
you can
love
pick
it.
one more favorite one.
One
I
more
don't want to
favorite?
do that to
All right,
you. I know
should I
you're
do the money
upset.
one or the stomach hurts?
Whatever your favorite one is.
Speaking of money, whether you're 20 or 60, she says you can change your finances, so try it. And then if your stomach hurts and you haven't got a virus, you're in a bad situation. I agree with that.
Well, that's
Trust
touche.
your gut.
Trust your instincts, kids.
Trust your gut.
Well,
Always.
there you have it. We have, sort
Most
of
of all,
been
stop
all
blame-
over the place on
Stop
this.
blaming your mother.
Oh, and I wanted to end with that actually. Even though you do look at the Dina Lohans and you say, it can't be old Lindsay. That mother had a lot to do with it, and she continues to have to say stupid, irresponsible things. But you got to get to a point where you do also
Take
stop blaming your mother.
responsibility.
Anne Marie and I had a friend a long time ago who was an overweight woman in her mid-30s who used to say, look at me, my mother made this. And I'm thinking, your mother has been dead for 20 years, girl, and you've been eating chicken wings. And an awful lot of them over those 20 years. And you
take
haven't been moving your big fat
responsibility.
butt. That's why you're fat. Let it go. It has nothing any longer to do with your mother. It has to do with you.
By
So,
the way, we're probably going to do this show again. We like this subject a lot, and we'd love to hear from you.
we heard actually
We'd love
from
to-
a lot of our fans on Facebook on this subject, because we did pose it, as you
Yeah.
don't know, yesterday.
But I remembered to invite them. I remembered to
Yes.
invite you, didn't I? So please send us your comments.
Yes.
Send us your thoughts on this subject. This to us, this is a big one, and it's sort of a recurring one because it's talking to the younger generation and sort of trying to figure out,
And I think we have a responsibility to do that.
trying to figure out
Oh, you still
how
talking?
they got where they are today and how we got and what our role might be in it. Ha ha ha. Okay.
Bye, everybody.
See you soon.